take the nonchalantly of, I can do anything, I can talk my way out of it or whatever, and get away with it. That's not going to work in some areas. It just doesn't work. I don't care who you are, where you come from. Guys I know who grew up in certain areas, if you got caught in the wrong area, you were done. And I mean done is being jumped. Being jumped is when 10 guys will chase you down the street, literally running and chase you down the street. I often think about something called, people don't remember the Watts riots. And the Watts riots happened after the Rodney King. I think it was 1992. There were major riots in Watts. They burned the whole town down, an area in L.A. And if you were a guy walking down that street anyway, you would have been jumped, maybe stabbed or whatever. They beat one guy who was a truck driver. He couldn't get the truck moving again. This is The Real Deal with me, Larry Lawton. In this episode, we're going to be talking about crime statistics by state and by some cities. And you're going to clearly see that the younger generation and my generation have a vastly different view on violence. And you're going to enjoy it.
Don't touch anything.
It's the greatest find yet. Nothing compares to it.
But it's definitely something you should hear.
This is The Real Deal with Larry Lawton.
Welcome to The Real Deal. You are in for a show, and I'm going to explain what is going on here as we are starting to get a little bit more serious with this podcast. And we're going to be going back to my roots. I will explain that right after I just thank Oliva Cigar. They are our sponsor. They are great people. We love them. Nick, they make my cigars, everything like that. So I think it's really good. Oliva Cigars, check them out if you want. Please, Oliva, check our stuff, the Crooked Diamond. It's all over the place.
But they don't sell them, so go in the descriptions and...
Right. They'll tell you where to go. They'll put stores.
Yeah,
exactly. We'll do it, whatever you want. But the Crooked Diamond Cigar, check us out. We'll be doing that. Let me explain what I want to tell everybody right now. Nick and I had a big discussion, and we're really going to get a little bit more serious with the podcast, meaning this. We have a lot of fun here, and we're going to still have fun. Let me explain that right now. But we're also going to tackle topics that are important to all of us and important with my knowledge. Obviously, I'm an expert on TV and everywhere else with crime, Nick, and robberies and prisons and policing. And we're going to stick somewhat to that kind of topic. We're gonna dissect some good crimes.
I'm not, just so you know.
No, and that's what I want to. If I could explain it to you,
exactly,
I think the audience is going to understand. And I want you to have an open mind too, Nick. And, and some topics will be fun, some topics won't. So we have to understand, know that.
One thing where I'm pretty closed off, and I think we all know that. So pretty open minded.
What is that? Tell me.
Oh, hey, we don't have to get into it.
No, I don't even know it myself.
The voting thing. So.
Oh, the vote. Well, we're not going to get into that right now. What we're going to get into today, and I'm getting back to my roots, everybody, and I think this is very important. I really do. Why do people listen to Larry? One, I'm a good storyteller, but I tell the truth. I always speak my mind, but I tell it like it is, and sometimes that gets me in trouble, and that's what Nick is here for. I guess he has his paper and pen that he's going to get going with, and so he could I think he'll get it right now. So he's going to get a pen and paper, and because we have to watch what we're doing now. We're getting pinged, we're getting pointed out by YouTube and other places. People say, well, then go here, go there. No, we like YouTube. YouTube's where it's at. YouTube's where I first started. I'm not banning YouTube in any way, but we are going to concentrate more on doing some good content and giving you guys stuff to go to work on. We know who listens. I hope I get the feedback from the guys like Kyle and Bobby and, Cabby Bob and a bunch of other people who do Kyle Forth. A lot of guys listen to our podcast all over. And please, I accept criticism very well. I mean, if you call, you email me, call me an asshole. I mean, I don't think I'll respond to that. But listen, I have a problem, my own problems. I think I've gotten a lot better stepping over people when we get good guests, because we do have some really good guests from law enforcement, the prosecutors, to other people who are involved in crime or were victims even of crime. because I think I want to see some of that myself. I want to see how I discuss it and talk to him. And I do have a feeling. I do have empathy. I believe that. But we're going to talk about that. So, Nick, I want you to also, when you don't understand something, and I don't mean the
I'm
basic
also in a
little
ride
stuff.
too. I'm also in a ride. I don't know what
You're in a what?
talking about.
You're on a ride with them. You're going to be on a ride with them.
right
Yeah,
now,
Rick.
yeah.
Nick
I have
does
no
not
idea.
really know what's going on.
I kind of walked in and
he sees me at that computer going at it, and he
you
goes,
do this. I'll ask questions about what we're doing, which good. If you get distracted, you'll get distracted.
I do.
Hold on, I'm the same way.
I get distracted. I hope we're going to do a few things right. We're going to get the pads down. Like, I want to get printed stuff. I want to have knowledge of what I'm doing. I want Nick to have questions and be able to write them down during the show. And when we have guests, we're going to have verbal guests, like meaning through the phone. We're going to have guests that sit in here in the office. So I think it's going to be interesting. And we want your suggestions. I really do. I want people's suggestions on what they want. Now, listen, there's going to be topics you like, topics you don't. And I'm open to that. Believe me. I love that kind of stuff, and I think this is going to be a lot of fun. So we're going to start at what I know best, and that is crime. And people say, what do you mean? Listen, sad to say, but I was a criminal most of my life, Nick. I
don't think anyone's doubting that.
No, and I've changed, but I always say people can change, and I think that's very important. We were talking about that.
You've changed on acting on it, but I've seen you really quickly just shout out like a whole entire scheme crime that could happen, and everyone's like, what are we? That's not what we're talking about. You're like, but there's a weak spot right here.
Yeah, I mean, I'll see a story, go, oh, easy to get to.
In conversations, you're like, well, here's how I'm going to rob you. We're like, whoa, dude, I'm just telling you my plans.
I didn't tell somebody how I'm going to rob them, did I?
No, you like, and every time, even when we're watching TV, your brain always goes like, how can I rob this thing?
Well, that's a great segue.
Yeah.
Let me give that segue. The segue is we were talking to a very good friend of mine and a big time producer in L.A. And I'll give him a shout out, JJ John Johnston. He was on A Current Affair, the whole works. He's an amazing producer, unbelievable.
We had him on. He was talking about the writer's strike, wasn't he?
Right, we did have him on, and JJ is one of my mentors, and we're talking about what we're doing. We have a great video coming out, and I will promote it in a little bit, of me robbing a boat. And that is in the same theme as when I robbed the cigar store and then told them how to prevent that robbery. So we are working on and we're doing things right. I might not put out as much content, but I'm going to put out content that I believe people want to see. I think that's important, Nick, and I think you do too. And we're going to be working harder on this, promoting it on social media and stuff. But we're a couple guys, maybe one or two people will help us here and there. But we are not a big company. We aren't this. I don't make crazy money. I'm lucky if we make it. And we like it, though. I mean, we never argue about money. We never argue about things. And
PayPal just gave you your money.
PayPal just opened up and gave me some money, which was a great thing. Look at our mascot, Morty.
Let's see what he's going to do with this wire. Wow.
Oh, this is going to be good.
Got yourself in a predicament, didn't you, buddy?
Yeah, you can't get out of there now. But anyway, we're looking at Morty, who's our mascot here. Well, Nick, let's get into the crime. I don't want to get off topics too much. First of all, I'm going to go over, we have a list of the best states to live in for crime, lowest crime rate, and then the highest crime rate and all of that. And a couple of things that have hit the news. And when we're going to do this crime podcast is going to be really, we're going to always hit, even when we have fun, we're going to hit on some topics that went on during the week or crime and stuff of that nature. I think Nick and I understand that the most, that people want to know. And, when you're driving, you're listening, where do you get? I don't lie or bullshit, so I do my research. I even do my research on multiple places, if you know what I mean. Like, that's what I do, and I think it's important to do that. So, first of all, one thing that hit the news this week that really hit me nice, and it made me in a good mood for this show today, Minnesota now, on Wednesday, upheld the 2023 state law that restores voting rights for all felons once you just get out of jail. You don't even have to complete your probation or whatever. That's Minnesota.
Are they the first?
No. Other
I heard
states
someone else did that recently.
A lot of states do it. Yeah. Florida tried to do it, but then the governor put stipulations in there that, they have to have their fines paid. And people have $1 million fines. You're not going to pay that.
Yeah.
It's unrealistic. If you're making an attempt and if you're not an asshole. Restitution or actual court fees and stuff of that nature. Listen, you get a guy who's young. He robs a bank for $10,000. He has restitution of the $10,000, which the bank wrote off. I'm not going to get into how they put people under the table.
I agree with paying your restitution. Like, you should have to pay that. Only if they told me the exact breakdown on where your restitution went. If not, then I'm like, I don't care if they're paying the restitution.
Well, here's
or not.
what happens. These corporations, big ones, they write it off. They get a full break from the government. Then now, are they getting money or somebody else holding the money?
Donation. Oh, it was donated.
Not donated. Obviously, I understand restitution. If people lose money, people should get it. And I'm not against all of that. I am against ungodly fines or stuff that keeps people. Here's what happens when you give a person a lot of restitution or a fine. All you're doing is creating a criminal. Because what's he going to do? He's going to work off the books. So he's not going to pay his taxes. He has to fight. Think of that.
Are they like garnishing your wages?
Oh, they will.
They will after like how long?
It depends. You set a fine. No, right away. They'll set a fine. And let's say you have a fine. I'm just going to give a fine of $5,000. They will take it right out of your paycheck. And you'll try to make an agreement with whatever it is. But if you take a young guy just trying to get out there, be a construction worker, it's hard enough out there, guys. Yeah. We all know how hard it is for people to make it. Listen, I went grocery shopping today, Nick. We bought absolutely zero. I mean, not zero, but we spent $300 like it was nothing.
No, it was
$303, I think it was. But my point is, it's crazy.
Are you sure it wasn't $383?
I thought 303.
Yeah, it was
but
pushing.
anyway,
I thought 4.
Anyway, my point is, it's rough out there. Now you saddle someone who's getting that. Yes, he made a mistake. Yes, he should have the consequence. He did go to prison. He did, rehabilitate if he was a drug addict or if he was any kind of a person like that. Was I right?
Yeah, it was. I read 383. It's 283 before tax. 303.
Let's not get off tangents on these things anymore. We're going to keep everybody on tape. People don't give a shit really what I pay. But I am telling you guys, we're going to hit this crime, and the reason I'm starting off with the restitution and people getting their rights back because I'm a very big believer that if you don't have the right to vote and you're out working and paying taxes, that's called taxation without representation. And that's wrong. I mean, however you want to look at history, you are being taxed to be represented. I can go into taxes and why we're not being represented by the right way, but here nor there, we should be you should have a voice. We're not going to get into the voting thing at all. We're going to get into the crime. And I
had a breakthrough with that. I hadn't been thinking about that since last time. You're like, what would make you vote? And then what I figured was the biggest one is like, if I voted, I want to know the exact like check marks and where they're going, like the funds. But that that
we all wish we could do that. If you could take your taxes, someone would say like myself, I have no kids in school. Why should I pay school taxes?
Yeah.
Well, I should because I'm looking for the betterment of our society. And
I get that,
good.
Yeah.
So, but you got people who are elderly and they've been paying taxes after their kids been gone, and all of that money for schools and stuff in an area. They're not. I personally don't like my taxes going to I call them the alphabet organizations. We have the FBI, DEA, NSA, CIA, all of these alphabet, ATF. Yeah. We don't need them all. It's all top-heavy government spending that we are paying for. People have to realize, guys, that we pay that. These people are supposed to be public servants. Obviously, we need the FBI. We need oversight organizations. We need stuff. But like everybody goes, do you need the government? How about the FDA? Food and Drug Administration. I want them. I want to know when salmonella is in food.
I didn't notice that how much I wanted them until we went to Nicaragua, and I was like, I want my steak rare, and they gave it to me well done, and I was like, meh. And everyone there was like, no, they don't have an FDA here, dude. You should probably really like
cook it
good.
Yeah, damn right.
And I was like, wow,
that made a lot of sense.
I took a FDA Didn't even think
Go
twice about him.
FDA.
Yeah. And then I was like, oh yeah, man. Didn't even step on you guys.
I understand that. Now, so I that's my taxes, but we're not going to get into it. We're going to get into crime. We're going right to crime. That's what we're going to do. Okay. I'm going to list the top 5 crimes in the United States based on available data right now from Top News World Report and the AP and CNN and Fox. So I put all these things and got the numbers. Homicide. While overall violent crime has decreased in many cities, certain areas, including New York City, saw a slight uptick in homicides during just July. Despite this, the year-to-date homicide rate showed a reduction compared to previous years, which is a good sign, but in July they had an uptick in homicides.
Who?
New York. That was just New York.
Okay.
I'm just giving the crimes that are homicide. Motor vehicle theft is number 2. It's back. It used to be, it went down. I remember when I was a young kid doing the crimes,
Like
robbing cars.
Stealing the car or
Robbing cars.
running through it?
No, robbing cars. That's car hopping, obviously.
Yeah.
But no,
just didn't know
stealing a car,
they all
motor
were one.
vehicle theft, taking the whole car.
Okay.
Motor vehicle theft remained a significant issue.
Are we
Although,
sure of that?
Yeah.
The whole car?
Yes, car robbed. Cars get robbed all the time.
I know, but they would be. I would think they would be that high because of San Francisco and people just running.
No, they're just
cars.
talking about overall in the United States, motor vehicle theft has remained significant, although it was noted decreased compared to the same period in 2023. However, the rates are still higher than pre-pandemic levels, with stolen vehicles often being used or other criminal activities, which is so true, guys. I used to rob cars and use them, and people rob a car and then use it in a crime, and then it's gone. You know, now you can't. You burn it. Usually, you burn it because that takes any kind of DNA or any evidence out of it. Which, listen, motor vehicle. I was never hip to motor. Like, realize how much an impact it can have on people.
Oh, I noticed.
And you did that to me.
I noticed.
A little bit.
Yeah. But they used that. They stole my mom's car because she was warming it up in winter.
Yep.
They stole it and they used it. They robbed like a few gas stations and they went to a high-speed chase. And my mom found her car that way because she saw it on the news. And then she called and was like, "That is my car. I reported it like a few weeks ago. That's my car." And they were like, "Well, we ran the VIN numbers. It doesn't belong to, we don't know who it does belong to." And she was like, "Well, it's mine."
Well, that's because your mom was really changing VINs and doing all that stuff. In the
I
day.
wish.
We
But
used to do that.
It got to the point where she was arguing with them, and they just were
They
like,
didn't
"No,
care.
it's not."
They just didn't care.
They totaled the car, and then a few months later, a junkyard called her and was like, "Hey, you owe this much money because it's been stored here for so long."
Tell them to go take a hike, man.
Yeah.
Did she have insurance on it?
Well, she only has liability, so
Right, it wasn't
doesn't
worth
matter.
enough money that.
Well, liability. If someone steals your car on liability, it's
No, I
cover it.
know
Yeah.
that's not property.
Yeah.
That's not the actual.
And that's
damage.
what I
My
don't know
point
the
to you
exact
is,
number. 90% of America probably only has liability.
it depends on. Obviously, it depends. If you have a loan for a car,
Yeah.
you have to have certain
I've paid a
insurance.
few.
So that is different. See, the next crime is robberies. Robberies continue to be prevalent, but have been trending downward. The overall robbery rate has decreased by 6% compared to 2023, and is down 15% from 2019. That's a pretty good number, and it's a positive number. Here's a number: drug offenses. This is the next one, and one after. Drug offenses. Drug-related crimes, including the manufacture.
And these are people getting arrested or
Yes.
just reported?
Well, these are crimes, just reported crimes.
Okay.
But they have to have some. You can't just say there's been a drug deal on the corner. They have to either catch people and.
Well,
know
that's what I
they're
was
doing it.
saying. That one really threw a red. Where I was like, are these just reported or? 'Cause-
Like how they do the drug offenses is obviously
Okay.
they have to know and have to put people to a certain thing,
Yeah.
because you can't just say, oh well, there's 20 drug deals going on down there and all these people doing it.
Did you
No.
see that AI stuff that they're putting out, that the government uses this AI that can track movement and they can know how many times someone goes into a house. So it's a really big.
Oh,
like,
today we're gonna get into technology.
They can catch trap houses pretty quick now.
They have, obviously they have sound systems in cities. If a gunshot goes off, they triangulate it and they know
have
right
those,
away.
yeah. I don't know if they're here, but in St. Louis, once they stopped that red light like ticketing, they started putting St. Louis monitoring lights up, and that's where. It's like,
absolutely.
Oh, we know where the gunshot came from, and
Well, it's
we
not
see
because of
AI.
that. It's because of sound system. They have, matter of fact, Frank Adderley,
That's
who's
part
the
of the whole system they put in.
chief of police, showed me how it ran.
Yeah.
It's a triangular system. They put certain things, certain places, not cameras. It's sound.
Yeah, but like the security, it's a big box that has a pole on it with a bunch of cameras, and that does have it has the same stuff in it.
Well, I know about the sound. And
why
how
would
they
you
do
put
it.
another sound thing somewhere else? It's all this one thing now.
It's not. No, because they have to triangulate that sound.
Yeah, and it's in the box.
In a camera. We don't know.
Yeah.
That's technology. We're not going to worry about all that. Drug offenses, drug-related crimes, including the manufacture, sale, or possession of illicit drugs, remained a common issue. Although the rates showed some fluctuation, this is where I have a issue with. Overall, the drug offense rate has been a slight decrease compared to 2023. Here's where I am against what's going on. See, police can now manipulate that number any way they want. If they go hard on crime, hard on catching people and really doing many stings and doing stuff, even possession, stuff of that nature, they're going to have a high number of crimes, and they're not going to like that. So they're going to say, oh, wait, well, let's not do that. If we do that, now we have a problem. We have a problem because our crime rate is high. So just like policing let me explain the jail system, that maybe you can understand it better. If a sheriff, most sheriffs in at least Florida and some other places, they also run the jail, okay? So when they run the jail and the law enforcement, I disagree with that format 1,000%. Some cities take the jail away from the sheriff and they put it under the county commission, and they hire a jailer or a jail administrator or if you want to call it a different word, warden to run the jail. Now that warden then or jail administrator works directly for the county commissioner, county commissions. So if there's 5 county commissioners, they represent the people. And now if I have a son or daughter who's in jail, I can go to my representative that I voted in and say, hey, listen, I think I can't get hold of my son. Let's find out what's going on. Can we start? And he would be able to call the administrator and get some answers. No, my dad did something different. My dad had to go to the postal service. That's a whole different thing. Because of it's hard to get into that. I want to explain everybody why I think sheriffs and police agencies can manipulate numbers. Let me give you what I mean. If I am the sheriff of a county.
Oh, you could say arrest more people on your stops, right?
Well, if you're a sheriff and you want the numbers to look like you're a crime fighter,
pick them up.
You tell every one of your deputies, pick up leeway, get them in jail.
Pick them up.
Now watch this. That. Now the jail number goes way high and it's crowded. So what does the sheriff do? He asks for more money. I need a bigger budget to handle these people. Now the county commissioner sees all these people, they're human rights violation. A judge will issue an order. You have to let people out. They do that. And now that sheriff says, I need more money. Now, he can manipulate that number because then when he wants that number to look, hey, I'm doing great when election time comes. Look, the jail is not high. Crime is lower. By telling his deputy, hey, don't bother people for these minor stuff. Give them a break. Try certain things. So it's a manipulation of the number. And I just think that they should take jails away from sheriffs or one individual because that one individual now has a lot of power and he can really manipulate things. And the last crime we're doing for the high crime 2024 is hate crimes actually are up. Hate crimes, because those in targeting specific ethnic and religious groups, saw an increase. In New York City, for example, anti-Semitic incidents spiked significantly compared to the previous year.
So sometimes I do have an opinion on that. Sometimes I feel like there's like a little agenda and they blow up the numbers for that. Like when that whole like people attacking Asians in New York was like the biggest deal in the world, it was really only a few cases of like homeless people attacking Asians, and
we don't know that.
Like,
I mean, we think, we don't know.
They just weren't showing like all the attacks these guys were doing.
What I've learned, Nick, at 62,
this Jew thing is
in your 20s, the Jewish people have been prejudiced against for hundreds of years, really. But going back to the numbers, like you just said, I'm 62 and you're 27. Here's my difference in what I look at people, and check me out for this. I really was a very go America guy, and I still am. I love my country. But boy, the media sucks. The media only reports, Nick, dramatic things. Even you at 27, you don't want to see the boring shit on TV. You don't even watch TV.
Well, no, I mean, that's not true. We watch, what's that, not Tommy G, but the other guy that just reports on, like, New York.
Yeah.
He's my biggest news.
He's good. Yeah,
he's literally my biggest news, and he's not telling anyone that's beefing or anything. He's telling me what's going on.
Through one person's eyes, always.
Yeah.
I always look, and I've gotten more
his one viewpoint I trust more than like the 10 people on the news. I feel like that's more one-sided than he is.
Yeah, I mean, in all news, what I've learned to do is I don't take the left, I don't take the right. I try to read both, and then I try to get a middle ground somewhere and figure it out myself. I think if you stuck on CNN or if you're stuck on Fox, you're in a bad spot because you're only getting news that you want. You're not getting news that might be different than what you believe in, if that makes sense. The news was supposed to be where they inform people, not give their opinions. They become an opinion now.
Yeah,
it's
totally.
and it's totally, you could see it so blatantly. And I don't believe it. I'm so over it as an older guy.
That's what like terrified me of everything when I was little. Like I remember watching the news when I was little and being like, there are so many fires. Holy cow. Just because that's like all I could comprehend, being like, wow, there's so many fires on Earth. Like I got to really be scared of these fires. But it's just all drama, really.
Listen, all the news wants is views.
But you know what
all
I figured
they want
out
is views, Nick.
Is when they start talking about a wedding in there, we're like, what is this?
Well, no, what happened was it was such bullshit. I mean, if you would have gave me something exciting. And, they're so slick, these newses. Boy, you want to talk a hook? They start the hook early. The hook meaning you can't wait till you see this wedding disaster. And it's nothing. And we at the end, and we wait. And listen, the news. I don't know how people watch TV anymore. I really don't. There's so many commercials at the end of a movie. They literally say 30, not even 30 seconds of a story, and they got 5 minutes at the end. 5 minutes. Another few words. We're back with the story of the marriage thing or whatever. And then they go another little bullshit, and then they go, we'll be right back. Don't miss. And I'm hooked now. I want to see it.
Remember that one time I was like a little stoned, but the cable was on. We were at some hotel or something traveling, but the cable was on. And I just like at some point, I guess I checked out. And then an hour later, I was like, am I watching an infomercial or what is going on here? And you checked it out and you're like, no, dude. Yeah, no, you just missed, I guess, all the times they played TV.
I remember that. We were in California and you went to go get weed.
I was tripping out. I was like, is this an infomercial? Am I on the wrong channel or something? Like, what's going on? And you're like, no, this is MTV, dude.
That blows me away. I mean, we're going to do crime risks and stuff. I just want to get the crime numbers, and I want to talk about certain crimes that really get me pissed, if you want to call it that. And I think I'm going to see if they're the same kind of crimes that get you pissed, differently. But I just want to give everybody an update, and these are the latest numbers out by News and World Report and the AP. These are the numbers. And I'm going to go the lowest crime rate state in the country, United States. What do you think it is?
The
lowest, the best crime, the least crime in a state.
It's got to be like a
cheating?
Wyoming or a Minnesota or a Utah. There.
Way gone.
What is it?
Maine.
Okay.
Up in the Northeast, they have the lowest overall crime rate. Number 1. 28th best state overall, if they grade these. Number 2, crime and corrections. And
what is
number 2 in public safety? They're good.
Under that state.
Under this.
Yeah, I didn't know what you were talking about there.
Largest New England state known for its forests, pulp paper production, and tourism has the lowest crime rate. Do you know the next one? The next state? New Hampshire. I'm going to give you the 10, first 10 lowest, the best places to watch.
Like really tiny states.
Does he have to go out? Do we want to let him out?
Is it per capita? Are we walking up like per capita, dude?
Oh yeah, you have to do. It's how they do the numbers is crimes per 1,000 people.
Yeah, I mean, what if we didn't? That we're taking that advantage.
Absolutely.
So Texas can't be number one just because they have the most people.
No,
whoever
they
has
can
the most
be.
whoever,
Absolutely, it goes by crimes per 1,000
capita.
No,
or whatever.
yeah, per 1,000.
So we're treating this equally.
Yes,
because these all
totally.
seem like very tiny states.
They happen to be.
Yeah.
But, people just don't do
kinda-
crime in those states. I think it's more for weather. Maine is a very, very
That's
cold
why I kind of
state.
tried to put like the ones that had the best mountains and the weather.
It's only a few months to really get it. Otherwise, nobody wants to be out there.
No, crime doesn't really happen when it's freezing outside.
New Hampshire, then Connecticut. In 20. See, I always look at the best overall state like to live in. New Hampshire's pretty good. Look at this. Number 2 in lowest violent crime rate. Number 2 in best state overall. Number 1 crime and corrections. And number 1 in public safety. If you want to go to a state, guys, there's a state right there, New Hampshire. Happens to be where my ancestries came from Canada to the United States, New Hampshire. Connecticut is 3rd lowest crime rate with 20 best state overall, 6th in crime and corrections, and number 5 in public safety. So how they did this was they took all those categories, they made them the best, and who is the best. Number 4 overall is Rhode Island, actually. Pretty good. Again, another Northeast state. Then Nick was right. Number 5 is Wyoming. I want to go to Wyoming and Montana personally and stuff. Believe it or not, a pretty big state and a Northeast state. I would never have picked this. This state you couldn't get me to pick this state. If I had 10 guesses, I would have not taken this state. Without some hints, I would not have taken this state. And that state is New Jersey. New Jersey's number 6 lowest crime rate. Yeah, would you think New Jersey?
That's what's throwing me off. Aren't they like tiny?
Is this empty? I'll throw it. Yeah. Well, no, New Jersey's not a tiny state. I mean, not compared to not compared to New Hampshire and stuff like that.
Thank you. We did not have to do all that.
Hey, what can I say? I'm clean.
You said, what can I say? I beat the hell out of someone for hair in the sink.
I did.
You did.
Okay, Kentucky is number 7. And side note, I'm thinking of moving to Kentucky. My best friend just moved to Kentucky.
You're telling people you're moving all over. Well, you got to figure some state out.
I don't know. A lot of different states, maybe New York or stuff like that. But I'm thinking of certain different states. Anyway, Kentucky, it's
like New York would be
39th
the most
best overall,
beneficial
crime
for you.
corrections, public safety, pretty good. Vermont, is a low crime rate.
They're all over
7th
there.
best state. Yeah.
Wow.
Kentucky's not. It's in the middle of the country.
I'm saying when they majority of them
the
are all over
Northeast,
there.
except for Wyoming and Kentucky. Number 9 lowest crime rate is I just said that was Virginia. That surprised me. That's a big city. When you have big cities, you usually have crime, more crime. And they have Richmond. That's a pretty big city.
Where's Virginia?
No, West Virginia's
Where's Virginia?
east of that. That is just south of North Carolina.
Oh,
I
okay.
mean, north of North Carolina.
Okay.
It's coming down. We went through it.
Yeah.
We drove through it.
What a shitty road.
No, Virginia was pretty good. New York was terrible. Idaho.
Well, I mean, New York's not made for RVs, so I'll give them. But the highway in south, north and south, wherever we were,
It's good. Keep on crime. Idaho, number 10. So I always looked. It's number 5 best state overall. That's what I always look for because number 5 state talks about corrections, how they handle inmates. They're good about stuff like that.
Idaho and Ohio always.
Oh, you get confused?
I was like, ooh,
Then
Ohio's pretty
Utah.
rough.
You ever been to Utah?
No, I really want to go.
Me too.
Once I started going to Colorado a lot, they were advertising Utah. So I was like, this place has got to be great.
If you're listening out there and thinking where your state's coming up, it's coming. So Utah is number
I love
11.
how you think they're all criminals. We're like, we're getting there, guys.
We're getting to see where your crime rate is.
Because I know everyone, you're not from these states listening to us.
No, Utah. Then Number 12 is Mississippi.
I would have thought they were going to be
Higher crime rate. Yeah. Florida, number 13.
Not a chance.
Yes.
Not a chance.
Number
I
9,
believe
best
this one.
overall, and crime 13, crime and corrections, public safety 15.
Okay, I can understand. There are in Florida, now that I'm here for a little bit, there's like little pockets of bad areas. Most of it is pretty
Yeah,
good,
it's not like they have a mega area.
I still haven't seen a pocket where I'm like, this doesn't look like the second street I lived on.
That's funny. When I got out of prison, people ask me, they go, are you worried about going places in crime rate? I said, listen, I just lived in the worst crime rate in the world.
You couldn't notice it, yeah.
No, prison.
Yeah, that's what
we
I'm
had
saying.
everybody was
So
a
when you were
murderer,
out, you're like, I'm good to walk
murderer,
around here, yeah.
criminal robber. That's a tough city.
You're
to
walking
live
on like a Crip block with like all red bandanas on.
I used to Crip walk.
No.
No.
I was trying to hit a joke there.
Oh, go ahead.
I was trying to say that you were walking down Crip blocks with all red bandanas on, not knowing anything. Just not even like, everyone's wearing blue around here. No, I don't. Nothing's.
I would know
dangerous.
that.
What I'm saying is, you wouldn't care. You
You
lived in the most dangerous block on the. I was just trying to give you some cred there.
No, I get it, but it's listen. No, any day listen,
you would assess the situation because you could feel tension.
People die
You could feel
everywhere.
tension.
That's so true. I feel it now. You remember when we were in Vegas? You felt it when I got so messed up. I happened to be on a chemical.
But the whole
substance,
joke was that all night you kept saying that you can feel tension, and I was like, these people have been following us for 2 hours, and they tried robbing us 2.5 hours ago, dude, and they're still following us.
But
that was the whole joke.
Was I chemically
because we were both. Yeah, that's why I was like, yeah, but not right now. Clearly,
Number 14 is Hawaii. Number 14, the best overall.
Which island?
No, it's the whole
I
island.
know.
West Virginia, there you go, number 15. North Dakota. Bismarck, North Dakota.
See, I would like to know why.
I wonder if anybody's going to understand what I say right now. Bismarck, North Dakota is where the Raccoon Cemetery is.
I get it.
Honeymooners?
Oh, no, I thought it was you saying I beat up a raccoon for
No,
taking
I
my
didn't.
food. I set a whole malicious trap and got him again.
No.
It was not even the same raccoon,
West
I bet.
Virginia.
It was probably just
North Dakota
Now that's a hate
is
crime.
16. Pennsylvania, 17. Number 18 is Minnesota. Now we're getting like your half, so it's not good, not bad. We got 50
That
states.
depends on the area.
Nebraska is 19.
Are we going through all?
Yeah, you only got to see the states, 50 states. That's it. We're almost halfway. How would you like to be listening and say, damn, where's my state?
Well, I mean,
Iowa is 20. Illinois, which is Chicago area, is 21. Not even halfway. So you got to remember, 25 is the
I
halfway
bet you.
mark.
I can bet a state that's pretty deep.
We're going to see. Illinois is 21. Ohio
So we're
is
just
22.
doing states instead of
right now,
cities.
states,
Yeah.
right?
Okay,
Number-
this is making more sense. I thought we were doing like
Wisconsin, number 20.
See how long it took me to figure out we were just doing states?
Indiana, 24. Here's the halfway mark. Number 25 is Massachusetts. Now we're going to the lower half. We are going to the lower half. Oregon,
I set you up for a good one.
26. Georgia, 27. Washington State, of course, 28.
We have another 30. We have to. Can we
28.
go to the top 10 now?
No.
Blair, come on. Let's skip to the top 10.
29, South Dakota. Number 30 is Delaware. Number 31 is Maryland. Number 32, North Carolina. I know we got some people out there. Number 33, Alabama. Number 34 is Kansas. Number 35 is Montana. Wow. Montana is it's
Okay,
bad.
so let's do this now. Let's see if we'll play a little game. I'll count down and you say it. We're at 35, right?
Right.
34.
No, we have to go to 36. We're going up to 50.
Oh, okay. 36.
Oklahoma.
37.
New York.
Oh, 38.
38 is Arizona.
Who we got for 39?
39 is Texas.
Who slipped into their 40s?
40 is, 40. Here's after 40.
Okay. What are
40 is the
rules now?
first one. I'm going to
This
go
is
to.
where we're getting a little. We
Right.
got to carry mace or what's going on
Okay,
at
wait.
40s. You know?
Nevada, which is Las Vegas, is number
Ooh.
4. Now,
Oh,
I'm
how
going to
mu-
type down the
I have a
10
Nevada-
worst.
I have a Nevada question here. How much is Nevada like populated? Is it just Vegas?
No, I mean, no. There's Reno, Nevada.
That's
That's
are
another.
those big
That's another
cities in there?
casino up north.
Big, you know.
Nothing big like your thing. What do you consider a big city? Don't say New York, of course. That's the
No,
biggest
that's
city,
you
but-
can't say that at all. No, I mean,
Okay, let me tell you what the.
like are they?
Here's the average. If you're under 100,000 population, under 100,000, they consider you a small city. That is for statistics. That's the Census Bureau.
I would think St. Louis is a smaller city.
No, it's a medium-sized city. What's the population of St. Louis? Let me look.
It depends. No, well, here's the thing. Like, I don't take in Lake St. Louis as St. Louis's population. They don't count. Once you start hitting, Kirkwood's barely making it. Once you start hitting Chesterfield and, you know,
Let me tell you something. St. Louis metro population.
there we go. That's a good word for that.
Yeah,
There
well,
we
that's
go.
a big city. It's
Yeah.
the 21st ranked city at 2.8 million people.
That's like when I said I live in the city. I meant, you know, that's my city, and it's the same. And when we went to the Bronx, I didn't understand how you didn't see that. Like when I said I live in the city, like the Bronx is literally a copy of St. Louis. It's the same building
Okay.
style, same everything.
I got what you're
bodegas,
saying,
main
but-
roads. They're on a grid pattern. It's the same thing. And then you guys have a downtown. It's just bigger than ours, which is New York, Manhattan.
No, that's different. That's a borough. Each borough, like
Yeah, you guys that's your language. But how I'm saying is like how everyone else would view that is like, oh, they live in the city and then that's downtown. No one in the whole country uses boroughs. So
because nobody has the population of New York.
that's
to
what I'm
actually
saying.
do
But
it.
what I described me is like, I guess I would have said I live in the borough if I wanted to like make sense to you. I live in the borough and then downtown is downtown St. Louis. But I say I live in the city, not downtown.
the Brooklyn population alone is 2.5 million.
Yeah, it's huge.
That's just Brooklyn,
Yeah.
not counting
I get
obviously
it,
Manhattan. So, but each one of those boroughs have a downtown.
Have a little downtown.
No,
Yeah,
not a
I know.
little, pretty big downtown.
For sure, I get it. Yeah.
So
But what
it's
I
kind of
saw
like
of
their
Brooklyn,
cities.
I
They're
was
kind of like cities
yeah.
to most other places. At one time, Brooklyn would have been the 4th largest city in the United States.
I made a lot of sense how to describe that.
Does that make sense?
So just take St. Louis as
Population.
just
Pretty
Brooklyn,
big.
just Brooklyn with a downtown, and that's where I lived.
Right.
And then I would be like, "That's my downtown. I live in the city, not a borough." That's how I kind of describe it.
Right.
As if
Well,
you-
you know why I think New Yorkers take those as cities? Because the trains and the buses and all
Which we
run.
don't have trains.
They don't run like the borough don't run that. The city of New York runs to Brooklyn.
See,
to
that's
the
just getting
Bronx.
into New York talk only.
Yeah,
I don't think that's how people.
Well, no,
like in
no city in the United
Ohio
States
would
has the
think
kind
that.
of mass transit that.
I
New
know
York
that's
has.
what I'm saying. Is like once I visited
Multiple times
the
now,
Bronx, I was like, oh, that's how I could have explained it. It's like, let's just take the Bronx as where I live, and I'm just saying downtown.
Are
and
all the?
rest
I don't
of
know
it
if
is
you had
a city.
as many tenement houses as the Bronx has a lot of tenement houses.
You're talking about fourplexes, quadplexes.
no, like apartment buildings that go 50 stories up, and there's
No,
thousands
no,
of families.
we
in
don't have any of those,
Co-op
no.
City
No.
in the South Bronx, and
I swing
that's
around there on
different.
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
They're like X-shaped. No, am I thinking wrong?
I don't know what that means. It's buildings, just massive buildings with apartments in them.
They're darker colors.
They're brick
Red,
buildings
red.
or whatever.
Okay.
Buildings
same
aren't
page.
built like that.
We're on the
Like-
same
like-
page. Yeah.
Let's go to the top. Here's what I want to give everybody.
Not much
We're
time.
going to rank the top 10 worst cities. Same list. So if you heard it, you just got to figure it out. What is the worst city to live in? No, I mean state. My apologies. The state. We're still on the
Yeah,
state.
I don't know the state. Yeah.
New Mexico. Wow, I had
that 'cause
no
the-
idea of that. It's the worst state for
Now,
crime.
why is there a big like maybe?
Who would ever move to this state when they are 49th best overall state? one from down low, 48th crime and corrections, and 50 in public safety.
Is it because of like a whole people coming in, or what crime are they taking in? Because like
I didn't go break down the crimes on every state, but this is amazing to me. I had no idea the worst place to live for crime is New Mexico. I would have said New York or California.
I wouldn't think New York. Like Manhattan's pretty safe. A lot of the Bronx seemed pretty
bad
safe.
Again.
Yeah,
it's getting bad again. The next
again, like
worst
you
crime.
can't pop a gun there without.
Of course,
you can't even carry a gun.
No, you're gonna
they're
get caught.
stolen, so,
and everybody does.
Yeah. Every other state, you're like, there's a good chance this guy is carrying a gun. Like
that's a whole. We're gonna do a whole show on that. Bring a cop in.
That was like my whole thing in New York, where I was like, all right, well, a lot of these guys aren't carrying guns, but they will like beat the bricks out of me for sure. But if they're carrying a gun, it's got to be stolen. You know how hard it is to get your permit down there?
New York is hard too. I would never carry a gun again. I mean, I carried when I was a criminal, but I would never carry a gun ever again. Even if I could have a license and put it on me, it's not worth the
risk and the big head.
Listen, cops themselves get, they have bad shootings. And or what happens if you miss and you hit a kid? Are you going to live with yourself?
That happens so many times.
Sure. People don't know they're not
often.
great shots. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, people think that like, I played a video game. I could hit something with a pistol. You ever shot a pistol?
Yes, many times.
I haven't, but I have seen people. Listen, pistols are not easy to shoot.
I can't hit you from here to the end of the driveway with a pistol.
I've seen a lot of shootouts where I'm like, how did nobody get hit?
That happens so often.
No one gets hit on a lot of them.
So
you know
often.
who gets hit is the 7-year-old down the block, dude. That's that correlates. Where that's how people are getting hit. Is you guys are shooting thinking you're gonna hit something, and you guys all have this burner pistols that don't work. Like, most of the time they jam.
I'm such a believer now. I carrying a gun has too much responsibilities. Yeah, listen, if you want to fight me and I get my ass kicked, I get my ass kicked.
Don't fight anyone anymore, Larry.
No, me, no. I'm hitting.
No one. Nobody fights. Yeah, nobody
that's
fights.
True. Alaska is the number 2 worst state. Alaska, and I'm trying to put a correlation
number
to this.
Number 2 worst state?
Yes, lowest, 49th in the lowest. I mean, it's the second worst in crime rate.
We should have went from. We should have counted down.
Well, we could have, but you know why I think this is? Do you know why I think that is? I think that is because these places that have low populations don't have as many cops for tax bases. So I would think the crime rate would go up. That's my theory.
But you're also not understanding Alaska to be there.
I lived in Alaska, so I know it very well.
Are you understanding it should be that high in the list?
It is, because the numbers don't lie. It goes by, again, crimes per 1,000 people. That's
kind of what I was saying is like...
It's all equal. This isn't equal. There's no bias.
It doesn't seem equal if I have 10 people and one of them commit a crime... Now I'm number 5 instead of 1 million people and 150.
It has to go to 1,000. First of all, and I think the least state we have is about 800,000 people.
Yeah. These were just fake numbers. I'm not saying I know anything.
No, my numbers are pretty good, and these aren't fake. These are actual.
You believe that Alaska
absolutely
is that high?
Oh, I know what Alaska's about. There's a lot of killings. People get drunk and kill people. There's not much to do.
But how many times?
Enough to be the second worst in the country.
They don't even have that many people.
They have approximately 1 million people, and it's the biggest state. You could put California, Texas, and Montana landmass.
Yeah, but into
Alaska.
What parts are people actually living?
Right.
And I don't want to do the boondocks, guys.
It's Juneau, Alaska is the capital.
And how many people are in that capital? Like
probably 30,000. I'm guessing.
So if 3 people kill someone, they're gonna get high up in the list.
No, there's 30,000. So you got 30 people. If 30 people killed, that was 1 in 1,000. That's not that. You'd still wouldn't be high. It's higher.
Yeah, I mean, it's
higher.
But the chance of getting it done to you is way, way lower. That's kind of what I'm thinking.
No, it's not. What? No, it's not.
There's less people, so my chances are less.
But it doesn't matter how many people are there.
I'm just saying my own chance is way less if there's less people around me.
No, because more people are getting killed in New York.
That's what I'm saying. I have a bigger shot of getting stabbed downtown wherever than I do have getting stabbed in Alaska anywhere.
Not at all. If you're in the city and there's 30,000 people, then it goes by per thousand.
I get what it goes by, but I do have a better shot and gamble at going to Alaska and not getting stabbed than in New York.
Well, if you know anything about numbers, you wouldn't say that. And anybody out there wants to chime in, statistical data is done on an equal basis.
No, I get that. Yeah, I get the equal basis thing, but my chances... Going chances here. My chances of getting stabbed are probably way higher in a higher populated area.
No, because if 5 people get killed per 1,000 in New York,
I'm getting all of this, yeah,
and 10 people get killed per 1,000 in Alaska, you're gonna get killed quicker just by statistics. I mean, it makes sense, obviously, because there's more people to get killed. So
there's more people to mouth off to get killed in New York.
All right, you could fight that. Okay,
this is what we're doing. I'm not this is all right, Larry. I'm just
the next worst state,
just
48.
not getting it.
The 48th or third worst state is Arkansas. I was in Forest City.
I think this
in the
whole
prison.
state thing is just
these are numbers, Nick. You got to understand numbers.
No,
I explained it to the audience.
I get it,
and I think the audience understand me when I say per 1,000.
I understand it too. I'm just saying.
Then Louisiana is 40. Is the fourth.
I got scammed 100 times in New York. If I go to Alaska, I bet you they're not going to scam me. Scamming is a crime. They were committing.
We are talking violent crime rate.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Okay.
Because robbing a vehicle with someone not in it's not violent.
No, but I didn't say. Okay. I said this statistical data was done on violent crime, best state overall crime corrections. Right. Then Tennessee, then California. See, there's a state that's got the biggest population. Did you know the state of California's got 38 million people?
They're the worst.
That's bigger than most countries.
I wouldn't want to live anywhere there.
No, I don't like California personally. And violent crime rate, Colorado. I would not think. I love Colorado. I loved being there when I went to Red Rocks and I went and seen the Steve Miller Band. I couldn't believe that.
Now what I would like to know is where they jumped from like 2012 to now. Because there's like a lot more people that moved out there just for some type of reasons and are now just doing their same thing that they were.
South Carolina we will do that another show. South Carolina, then your state, Missouri, is 42nd, 8th, 9th is Michigan.
And here's the thing: I know Missouri, all their numbers are coming from St. Louis. Like I've been 25 minutes out of St. Louis, and you're not committing crime. You're not gonna do a house invasion. You're not going to rob a gas station.
In where?
In Missouri. If you get out of St. Louis, you drive 30 minutes in any direction, you are not committing a crime against anyone. These guys are so gun happy.
Oh, really? I mean, just... Are they tough on guns in the state, in St. Louis?
No.
So everybody carries in St. Louis with 2.8 million people? It's got to be rough to be a cop.
I've had people personally close to me caught with stolen guns and get like a slap on the wrist.
That can be a federal gun.
Stolen guns.
Wow.
Where if you get caught with a stolen weapon, come on now. And it's happened a little more than once where I was like, what?
This one's going to mess you up. The city with the most crime rate in the United States is St. Louis.
I didn't even
St.
react.
Louis, he's right. Listen, St. Louis, Missouri often ranks as the city with the highest crime rate in the United States.
So here's a good question.
Let me finish this.
Sorry.
Based on violent crime rates, particularly for aggravated assaults and other violent offenses. And that's as of April 29, 2024.
That's this. Literally this. That's someone running their mouth and saying something and that you would think that I would have been murdered, But that's literally a lot of times people will feel disrespected and just go at it for. It doesn't even mean like a shootout. Just go at it. And I don't know.
Now I want to give you.
I have a real question. Sorry, really quick.
I was just okay. Go ahead. Sure.
Does it? I don't know. A lot of the times when we're traveling, which we travel a lot, and I'm just like, I'm gonna go out and do this, and you're like, dude, chill. And I'm like, I've assessed the situation and the neighborhood, and I'm good. I'm all right, dude.
You obviously, back in my day, you would have never went to Harlem alone.
I know, yeah, but
obviously, because you would have got killed. I mean, I would have got killed. I went down there with people or with a gun or.
Well, I mean, that's because maybe you had a gun on you.
What, that I didn't get robbed?
No, that you could have got killed. I
Oh,
get in
not
Harlem,
even
yeah.
that.
Dude, if I didn't have anything on me and I was taking the Harlem same route, all those guys would just not mess with me. Yeah, this kid's just taking the route. They wouldn't met.
That's not true, obviously. Okay. But that's just.
I mean, they would have met. They would have robbed me once, and I had nothing on me, and then I just kept taking the same area.
You'd be surprised what junkies do. But you'd be surprised what junkies do.
I'm not. Yeah.
You're not. No. Yeah. But the people that are going to rob you don't realize they even robbed you before, and they robbed you again.
I get it. Yeah.
So, cities-wise, I just
but
wanted
Harlem's
to touch on
a great area now.
It's pretty good. It's not a great area by any stretch.
I don't know.
But it is good. It's better. You didn't go to Harlem.
I know, but I'm a little warped on. I'm a little warped now after hanging out with some people from one of the boroughs to figure out like, oh, that's your assessment of a bad area. What? That's like
he didn't even know. He didn't.
What?
Wow. Listen, every area can have bad areas, and they do. It's a matter of I wouldn't want to walk in certain areas, even myself. Not that I wouldn't be on guard. But listen, you can be on guard all you want. If something happens, you can't defend yourself. You can't defend yourself. You're just going to get robbed. A gun comes at you. What are you going to do? You're not Superman.
But again, like there's a very slim chance. You're more probably likely to get caught by a stray shootout than you are like just behaving in a robbery.
I wouldn't know. I'm not going to say that. I couldn't say that.
I don't know. This is facts. This is my life.
You're thinking. Let me give you the top 10 worst cities crime rate. We know number 1 is St. Louis.
Well, we fight with Chicago a lot.
I don't think it's not even on here.
Okay, well, I guess I haven't been home in 2 years.
But these are all numbers, true numbers. Yeah. St. Louis is number 1. Number 2 is Atlanta. Number 3 is, check this out, Orlando, Florida.
Wait, I have a really good question.
Yep.
St. Louis, worst city with crime. But who has the more businesses going out of business because of crime? New York and California.
We don't know that, Nick. We just don't know that. I'm not going to tell the audience. I won't tell some audience a number that I didn't look up.
What I hear a lot of the times are that New York, these small businesses can't retain because they're just getting robbed all the time.
Well, you're talking about even the box stores.
And I'm not saying it happens more, but they can't do anything.
You would think California.
That's worse
than anywhere.
Guess what? If I tried to rob,
what about California?
I said that.
I mean, that's the bigger one.
I said both of them
because they stopped. But New York, yes, both of those cities I think have terrible crime policies. Personally,
yeah. And that's kind of just my whole point out is like St. Louis might be the worst, but businesses can't even stay open in those two areas. You're not robbing a business at gunpoint or really in New York or
Let me ask you, do you remember Ferguson riots?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
That's when I broke my spine.
Oh, so do you really remember? How old were you?
It was like a very key point in my life. Yeah. I was a senior in high school.
Okay, so you're old enough to remember it.
A junior. I was a junior.
Okay, you were in high school, so you remember it well.
Yes, yeah.
How many businesses in that area went out of business? I mean, obviously they burnt,
I know, but that doesn't even equivalate to making like a point. It was one incident.
To my point is, again, we can't.
And those
make
businesses
a point.
and I can throw the same point at you as collected insurance, and they're okay.
Okay, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe the people in New York are doing the same thing. I don't know.
I
We
think
don't
they're going
know,
out
Nick.
of business because they can't pay rent.
We
They're getting stolen
we just
and
don't know. I wish I was. If I had a business there, I could say, okay, listen, I couldn't make it because I think rents have gone way
But a
down.
cigar business is different. You're not really stealing from cigar. But they can't keep a Target. Both Targets went out of business in New York because they can't stop.
But
anything.
that's a petty theft thing. That's like
That's
a
what I'm
department
saying.
store.
Yeah.
Now, if we let's take a restaurant. Are restaurants getting robbed? I don't know. Or
Well, restaurants are going out of business in New York because not really. Never mind.
no, they're not.
They're not going out of business, but the food's going down and down and down because they know finally they're selling to just tourists, so they're just feeding them.
I love
shot.
talking to a 27-year-old.
I know. I mean, I talked to.
No,
you want to know where I got
that's
this
okay.
from? I got this from your friends I talked to. They opened my mind about how the food is in New York. Both of the friends.
What did they say?
They said, I don't like eating in New York anymore because they finally figured out that they're serving tourists mostly, and they're going to make their money regardless. And they're saving all their money and staff on that and making a good profit.
But also, Nick, you know New York already.
And I've never had good food in New York. I was talking to him about it.
Let's just talk bars or whatever. There's local bars, local eateries
I just
that
haven't been there
no
yet, yeah.
tourist goes near.
Yeah.
So,
I just haven't been there yet.
Right. And those are the areas that when you want to go, you'll
like
find
the secret
food.
bodegas I want to find out. You know what I mean? With the corner shops. That's where I've...
See, I don't want to do that in New York because I know about the rat problem.
I don't care about rats.
Yeah. So you see one that's bigger than Morty.
I mean, I've worked in a lot of restaurants and still ate the food.
Was there rats in every one of the restaurants you worked in?
Alleged, yeah,
No,
sure.
there are. Yeah. I mean, I owned a restaurant.
Yeah.
So, I mean, mice,
Big one. Yeah.
You know, it
Big
depends. It's very
problem.
hard. It's obvious you have to do everything you can to keep.
And they're still there.
It
Doesn't matter.
It really is amazing. You know?
I take in the thing like every single place I eat, they have a mouse problem.
At least a rodent. A rodent. They call it. It's a rodent problem. Yeah.
You can't not.
Let's get back to crime instead of restaurants. Number 3 is Alabama. Birmingham, Alabama is the number 3, tied with Orlando. Both are 3 with worst. Number 5, then it goes to Detroit, which kind of that's normal. Number 6, Memphis.
You said
Number
I
7,
said Chicago. Yeah, I mean,
number
yeah.
7,
Okay.
Miami.
My states and
Number
cities.
8, Baltimore. Here's another one of your states. You got 2 cities in
Wait,
the
can
top
I guess?
10.
Wait, is it Kansas City?
Yes,
yeah.
Kansas City, Missouri.
And I went there and I was like, this is
What I'm getting at is 2 out of the 10 top 10 are worst cities are in Missouri.
okay. So I'll just
and then Minneapolis.
maybe my perception's a little warped. I don't know, but
With what?
like when I was trying to go on a bike ride in the Bronx, there's no problem there. There was zero problem with a bike ride out of the Bronx at any time.
Hold on.
At any time. What your experience was might be a little different than what it was. Like we drove all around it, and
But Nick, you could have went. I know that area. I grew up.
I could
my
say the
whole
same
life.
thing about St. Louis.
I'm saying, but my point is, we wanted to get in a bike at 3 a.m. and just go.
And I would
If you
be
went
all
to a
right.
certain area, you wouldn't come
I could
home.
say the same thing
It would
about
take
St.
that
Louis.
bike.
Okay, I could
So-
say the same thing.
I didn't say you couldn't.
Yeah,
this is
and
not
guess
an
what's
argument
gonna
about that.
I know. Guess what's not going to stop me? It's like, all right, well, guess where I'm not going to go are these areas I deem not.
But how do you know?
Because I can deem them not worthy to go down. You can get it too, Larry. You can just be like, nah, all right,
But
I'm good.
I get it, but you could
Yeah.
get fooled so
but
quick.
let's see the most. Where's Bronx on the most dangerous cities?
I didn't go that deep. I
yeah.
didn't get down how far. The Bronx is a borough too. It's going to go to New York. It's not going to go to the Bronx. It's not going to go to Brooklyn. It's not going to go to Queens. It's not going to go to. They're all boroughs.
Well, they need to.
There's
okay, well,
5
then
boroughs that make up New York City.
we can put in some good keywords that they'll rank.
Oh, they'll rank, but not against cities.
They'll rank. I mean, if they're that big, we can put in.
Yeah,
we
you can
in
put
some type of
populations
words, yeah.
over 1 million and say what areas even,
Mm-hmm.
because then you have to look at an area. If you take an area, St. Louis might encompass maybe
And
more.
all I was gonna do is that neighborhood right there, which is
My old neighbor, you'd have been all right, obviously.
exactly. I don't know where you thought it.
No, but you
Because what I already deemed and mapped in my head was like, okay, I'm gonna go on a few blocks.
But Nick, if you would have went in the wrong area, and you don't know the area, that's the problem. If you knew the area for a while, I would say sure, but you don't. And that's just like nuts to go out at 3 a.m. and all of a sudden you lose the bike.
I mean,
Can it happen?
it's trying to make, a correlation to,
I don't know. Whatever you're making. What makes you, do you think about crime in the city if you're going to move there?
No.
In an area?
No.
In this area.
Oh, okay.
We live right
I mean,
here. Would you live in certain areas or would you not?
No, I mean, it depends on why I'm moving there. Like, I would move to St. Louis if the job there was like, okay, cool, and I wouldn't think twice about it. No.
Would you move to the worst area in St. Louis?
What's the job? I'm not living on that street. I've seen the streets. There's no businesses there. Like,
What I'm getting at, if you have to rent the place and the cheap rent is that place
cool.
in that area,
Yes,
the
I would.
shittiest area in the world.
I have done it, yes. I have every single place I have moved is on some really nasty streets, and I have felt safer on those streets than I've felt like in traffic with someone. Yes.
Do you look at race?
No, not really. Because guess what? If you move onto their street, well, guess what? Now you're there. You start talking to everyone, which I have. Oh, you want to bum a cigarette? Here you go. Oh, here's a cigarette. You can bum a cig off me. I don't care. Oh, come over here. Let's talk. Guess what I do? I go over there and I talk to people. And
have you ever been robbed?
Yeah, I have.
Have you ever been robbed at gunpoint?
No gunpoints. But I've
then how were you robbed?
I have multiple guns pointed at me. Yes, I have pictures. I've showed you pictures of one because I took a picture of them. I have had multiple guns pointed at me. Yes.
So you were robbed? You were robbed when
not at gunpoint? No, I was robbed off of.
Why would someone point a gun at you? I just want to know. Did somebody just order say, "Hey, yo"?
Oh, these are always like road rages that I'm just like way too sarcastic in, and I get upped on.
Okay.
And this is.
I hope you grow up because you can get killed that way as well.
Oh yeah, I mean I've had a good experiences with it. Yeah.
So have you ever been robbed?
Yeah, but not in like a violent way. No, just on some shady crackhead stuff.
Oh, like a friend or something like that. That's not being robbed.
No, not a friend. Like a deal or something. Where
you were
right before the river. We need some stuff. Where it's like, oh, he didn't come back with our money, eh? But no, I don't get myself into those situations where I have an opportunity to be robbed, and I understand it can happen at any point. Yes, but
and it usually happens in areas that are not well. I mean, I could tell you, growing up, there were areas you can't go just because you're white. I know, but you have a really closed off
perception then, that like
of what?
Then maybe I do too, because where I grew up from. You just said, would you move into it? Yeah, and then I would know my block. I would know all the blocks around me. Yes, I would. And I would move in. These people would know, okay, he lives here. Like, why would we mess with him? Unless, I moved in and was like, all right, I'm going to start calling the police. No, I've moved. Every place I have moved is Grant Street, Tennessee.
Have you ever really had your ass kicked?
No.
Wow, it's just hard for me to...
Someone broke my nose, but not like my ass kicked, no.
Like, 5 guys jump you and beat the shit out of you and leave you laying on the street.
No, I don't get into... Have I been in those situations where I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm leaving quick? Yes. Oh, for sure.
Obviously, I get that because a kid your size, obviously you use your mouth and your brain,
and
which
then
is smart.
After all that, they're like, oh, I mean, he's making fun of us too. And a lot of it is that. Like,
you just haven't ran into like guys that
who are like, let me try to like test them to get a real good reaction. And then my reactions are like funny and making fun of them. And they're like, no, this kid's fun. Okay.
I get it. I guess you just haven't went to those areas that they'll just hit you.
I guess, yeah. No, the biggest city with crime, I've never been in any of those areas. I've never experienced any of those areas.
Don't get kind. I'm just asking you.
I'm just saying, you're thinking the Bronx is like
not the Bronx. Forget the Bronx. Just forget the Bronx.
Yeah.
I will drop you off on a spot in the Bronx and you won't come home.
Okay.
Guaranteed.
I'll bet big money.
Okay. You get this, Bobby, or people who out there who know New York. It's like saying to me, I could just.
I know.
Go to LA.
I could say the same thing to you, Larry.
You're right. Go to LA and go to Watts and go to Skid Row maybe and just go think you're just going to walk around and hang out.
I 100% could literally hang out in Skid Row for as long as I wanted to and be 1,000% okay, and I'll bet any money on that.
Do you think you're invincible from getting getting robbed and jumped and beaten
What's
the
a
shit?
robbery when all I have is a fucking nothing on me?
Nick,
There,
have you?
I don't take things with me. What's a robbery? Here you go.
How about
Here you go.
Forget how about getting jumped?
What am I getting jumped for?
Because you're in their area.
What am I getting?
If you go down a wrong street in L.A., you can get jumped.
Okay,
and you know
I get that.
right?
Hey, what are you down here for? Passing through. Give me your shit.
Well, really? Give me all your money. Give me everything.
Here you go.
And you just give me everything.
Here you go.
Give them the clothes,
There you
everything.
go. If they want my clothes, sure. What am I wearing? I wear Walmart clothes.
And
no
then they
one's.
beat the shit out.
Yeah,
of you.
you're just making stories.
I'm
up.
not, Nick.
Yeah.
You're being naive if
I'm
you
not
think you
being
could just
naive,
go anywhere in this United States and just be
I
okay.
didn't say I did. I'm saying I can assess a situation where I'm like, okay, well, we're not going over there. That's what I said.
You could just look at the saying, I'm not going there.
I mean, can't you feel tension?
I can feel it
Can't
a
you
little bit,
feel
but
tension?
it depends. I've been to places.
Even your brother was like, oh, everyone can feel tension there. Maybe you could feel it a little more, but
All right, guys. I'm not going to get into this with him. If he just doesn't think he can get jumped and robbed,
I didn't
want
say
people to
that. I did
comment
not
on
say that, Larry. But
You think you're never going to get robbed or jumped?
I
That's
didn't
what-
say
it
that,
shocks
Larry.
me.
I said a robbery's a lot easier if you just give them the nothing you have. I'm not going on random adventures. I'm not walking home every day.
Okay, how about you just got a new motorcycle and they stop and they take your money?
Good,
You just give it to them?
good luck. Good. If I'm on that's what I'm saying. If I'm on a bike, who is stopping me? If I'm on the electric bike and I see someone, why would I approach where they're at? Especially a gang of people. I'm not walking around. I'm on an electric bike or a motorcycle. And yes, that's where I get a lot of my experience from where like I am okay. I've driven my motorcycle around everywhere. Everywhere. Have I ran a lot of red lights because I don't want to stop? Yes. Yeah.
I just never. I haven't met a person. I'm not going to argue people about. I've never met a person who thinks they.
And I'm not
can
trying to be
figure out-
badass. I'm just saying, like,
I don't know.
I'm just not going to ever
I'm not
stop
tough
for
enough.
someone. That was a good point that you brought that up. I would have been on the electric bike. I'm not getting off, like hanging out on some block I shouldn't be hanging out on.
And you don't think someone could run out and just push you off it? Maybe.
No.
Wow.
You think someone's got that good of timing that they noticed me set up without me noticing them?
I think if you went down a wrong street and they blocked off one end of the street, you're done.
How fast are they blocking these streets off?
They run these street drug corners. You know what drug corners are and all that. I'm just maybe
You think it's 2024 and people can actually block off a street in time to rob a bunch of people
absolutely
without the feds being there the next day?
Well, forget
Larry,
the
if
feds.
someone blocked off a street now, you are not blocking streets off.
All right.
Dude.
Got it.
It is
I'm gonna let-
2024.
I want all-
Remember
I
the
want-
triangular shit you were talking about? People aren't blocking streets. There's triangular.
Guys out there, I'm not going to sit here. Listen. We're going to leave it at that. That's my new thing. I'm not going to argue when someone think you tell me if anybody thinks
But
they can be robbed.
I do agree. Mine are, I'm either super drunk and I'm in my neighborhood, or if I'm on something with wheels, no, I feel no danger. Like in a car, I will go anywhere. In a car, if I see a bunch of people, I'm turning around for sure. And because it's always at night. It's the safest time to be on two wheels is at night.
I saw you in New York City when you took a train and walked and that kind of like.
And that was, I've never felt more safe than in Manhattan in New York City. Never.
Got it. All right. So we talked crime. We're talking crime with Nick and crime with myself. Obviously, I do crime. We wanted to start this podcast, and we're going to be talking about crimes, whether it's a young man who gets jumped or robbed or a person who gets killed. We have murders and robberies every day around the country in different areas. Maybe because of my age at 62, and I've been robbed. I've been in gang fights. I've been in altercations in bars. I've been in stuff that you can't leave.
I've been
you
in
can't
a lot
get
of
away.
gas stations that are just a hangout where people are hanging out. And I'll walk into a gas station, buy my thing, interact with everyone who's just chilling at the gas station, and be all right.
And you don't think anything can happen there?
There's a chance for sure, Lair. But am I going to let that chance ruin me going to get my snacks when I'm stoned? No.
I would if I...
Now, if I got... I can agree that if I had the $7 in my pocket, somebody's might ask me or demand me for my $7. Here's my $7.
So have you never been robbed like that?
No. I don't get myself in those situations, Larry.
I guess there's. I don't know. Yeah, because I think.
Could I have gotten myself in those situations? Yeah, a lot. Have I went up to places and be like, I'm not walking in there. No, I'm good. A lot. Yeah, these places exist. But like me just like riding a bike down the street, not a chance that anyone's going to like push me off of it.
All right. You all see it. I think anything can happen. I've seen crazy things. I've seen people set up people.
A lot crazier than I, so I get where you're coming from.
I've seen a lot of people get set up, a lot of things. Obviously, people, if you're from New York, or you're from an area, and if you're my age, forget it, you probably saw stuff. If you're younger, I don't know where you lived or what you've gone through with the schools or this or the kind of fight. He went to a Catholic school that was probably
you went to
not
4,
violent.
didn't you?
What?
You went to, every one of them was private and Catholic, weren't they?
What?
Didn't you go to Catholic schools?
No.
Christian?
No.
No?
I went
That's
to
what you've
public
told me.
schools.
Christian.
I went
with nuns.
first, sixth
with
grade.
nuns.
First, I got
with
kicked
nuns. Yeah. Which is a what school?
Yes, Catholic school until
okay.
I was 7th grade.
Okay, and then you got yourself kicked out. You would have
Right.
went to Catholic schools.
So
until
where did
then,
you go to
yeah.
high school?
Larry, I didn't get kicked out of school, so
Nick,
where
why
were
are you getting mad?
I'm just saying because you just told me you never went to a Catholic school.
No, I said I didn't go the whole way. You just said,
didn't
you
say
went
that.
to 4 Catholic
No,
schools.
you said.
Did you say that?
I did, but what you said was, oh, he's just only went to. You went to a Catholic school as well, Larry.
But I went to public school. Obviously, you
Catholic
can look that up,
yeah.
guys. Go on
I
Wikipedia,
get
look
it,
at
Larry,
Lehman.
but-
Lehman High School.
You just tried to. Just Catholic schools.
Well, because
Okay,
you never
right.
fought in a public school system. People who never had the money
Yeah.
or whatever.
And hey,
to go to a public,
if you get a
private
Catholic
school.
private school, they will all be like, yeah, no, you really got to defend and fit in for yourself on Catholic schools. They're not nice people.
What are you
I
doing,
really
Nick?
gotta pee, bro.
Oh, Nick's got to go for a bathroom break, so we'll let him do that. Obviously we have. This is going to be good because he's 27, has a different look on life. I hope, and I really do. I hope he doesn't take the nonchalantly of, oh, I can do anything. I can talk my way out of it or whatever, and get away with it. That's not going to work in some areas. It just doesn't work. I don't care who you are, where you come from. Guys I know who grew up in certain areas, if you got caught in the wrong area, you were done. And I mean done is being jumped. Being jumped is when 10 guys will chase you down the street, literally running and chase you down the street. I often think about something called, people don't remember the Watts riots. And the Watts riots happened after the Rodney King. I think it was 1992. There were major riots in Watts. They burned the whole town down, an area in L.A. And if you were a white guy walking down that street anyway, you would have been jumped, maybe killed, stabbed, or whatever. They beat one guy who was a truck driver. He couldn't get the truck moving again. Reginald, I think it was Daniel, not the guy who originally, not Rodney King, but then it was a truck driver who got ripped out of his truck and beaten half to death in the Watts riots,
So, yeah, it's
for being there.
A hate crime, though, is what it was.
Oh,
right?
there's a lot of those.
It's a
Well, it's not.
hate crime.
That's just riots, not
Yeah.
not hate crime. Right? I don't know if
Yeah.
riots are all
So,
hate crimes.
Do you know how close Ferguson is to St. Louis? Do you know how close?
Yeah,
it is?
absolutely. I was good.
What's
ready
the
to
drive?
be.
What's the drive?
Well, it's a little past
What is
the
like
lakes,
the
so
drive time?
40 minutes.
Yeah, 40 minutes. That's not close. You have to hop on a highway, and you have to go to some other. It's
No,
not, yeah,
I
it's not- yeah.
agree. I didn't say.
Yeah.
I'm saying I don't go to certain areas in Harlem, or I didn't do certain
Yeah.
things in neighborhoods. Whether there was a place in the Bronx called Fort Apache. I'm just giving the audience a great thing. You look it up. If you want to go Google something, everybody, go Google Fort Apache, the Bronx. There was a precinct in the Fort Apache. They called it Fort Apache. They wouldn't. First of all, cops wouldn't go into certain areas. They would not go in there. That's how bad Fort Apache
I get it, and that's where this whole thing is coming from because you guys ruined everything. You guys got these guys to really. Now, if I would I walk up to someone's stoop? Not a chance. Would I stare at someone's stoop? Not a chance. No. Are people hanging out in the streets, like on the street? I mean, then I would see them, and why would I walk any closer than the block I saw him away from.
Okay, that's
now
a
if
good point.
I got in people's business and got close to them, for sure, yeah, they are gonna beat the dog.
Do you think people like jump people for no reason?
No.
Oh, they do.
They don't.
Oh, yes, they do.
Oh.
Anybody out there?
Maybe for
if
gang,
you're watching,
maybe for gang initiation, but that's not a thing.
There are areas you go and you guys going in their area is not good.
No,
you get jumped.
There's no more areas. There's like
there is, Nick.
My 3 houses right here. Yeah.
No,
but I'm seeing an area before I even walk up to a block for sure.
If you go to an area, let's just say I'm just going to give a person an area. Let's say here, and I owned these 4 blocks as drug blocks.
You're acting like there's snipers on the roof, dude. This is not how the world works anymore. There are not like people patrolling their blocks to protect it anymore. No.
Certain areas there are.
That's why there's so many just people hating people because they're not holding it down like they used to. They're not. They are not holding their place down like they used to.
I don't know how worldly you are. Okay. And that's okay. You're 26 and you don't watch news. You don't do a lot of that kind of stuff. Riots start for reasons, whatever reason.
We're not talking about
I'm
riots.
not talking about riots, but I'm talking about
all.
areas. Whether it's, again, L.A., whether it's New York, whether it's Texas, Dallas, big cities, St. Louis.
But what I'm saying is
I'm sure there's places in St. Louis I won't go down because you will get jumped. Or robbed. You want to call it robbed? I call it jumped.
Are you like telling me there's people in bushes like hiding? Like how am I not going to assess it? Like there's people down there. I'm not getting near them. I'm not going near anyone if I'm all by myself. No, I'm not going near anyone.
So you're just good at avoiding it.
I avoid everything. Yeah, if I'm out at 3:00 in the morning, I avoid literally every single human being. Even if it's a white woman in a car pulling up to me when I'm on a bike, I'm avoiding everything about it. Everything. And you can see figures. Unless someone's hiding in a bush, what is, I'm never walking. So maybe that's where we're getting. I'm never walking.
Even riding a bike. Like if you were riding a bicycle, not an electric bike.
How would I not see somebody?
You might, but it might be too late where you can't turn around. Or something happens, you'll look at your watch, and before you know it, a guy opens a car door, knocks you off the bike, and now what do you do? It
These
just
are
happens.
just like really 1%
I'm just giving you,
what ifs.
no, I'm
Yeah,
not,
yeah.
it happens.
And why would I be scared about any of that to move to a city?
I would, listen, there are cities you'll go to, cities I wouldn't go to, and I guess
I wouldn't
you're
go
tough,
to Flint.
but why not?
Water.
Oh, just because of the
That's
water.
more of a crime than anything else. I'm more scared. Yeah, there's my urine. I will not go there. I don't care about the word.
You don't drink water unless it's out of a bottle.
I only drink tap.
Tap water?
Larry, in the RV, I fill up a cup with tap. Do not tell me about tap water is.
I did not know that. We could just use tap water.
Look up St. Louis. You're the one that makes me make my dog drink filtered. And I'm like, what are you? St. Louis has some of the best tap water in the country. I wouldn't say number one. I wouldn't say number one, but we're up there. And any other state I've ever went to, they're like, what are you doing? Like, I don't know. It doesn't taste too bad to me. I don't know. We only drink tap water in St. Louis. That's all we're drinking. It's pretty good, dude. Here, I drink right out of the faucet. I drink right out of the faucet in the RV. I don't mind the water. And until I see that Flint water.
I don't know how you rate that, but they're not in the top 20, St. Louis.
We got great water. So I'm going to stand 10 toes on that one.
Okay. I mean, yeah, I'm just giving you some way. I like looking things up. You know that? And
So
this is best cities with water.
You didn't say tap, did you? Yeah.
What else would it be?
Did you say tap?
Does tap?
You have to use the tap keyword. Here we go.
Okay, guys, we are this same thing. Exact numbers came up, so we'll go to Nick on his thing. Here they are, just so we know: Louisville, Kentucky; Des Moines, Iowa; El Dorado Springs, I don't know where; Emporia, Kansas; Memphis; Silverdale, Washington; Sioux Falls, South Dakota; Hamilton, Ohio; Independence, Missouri; Macon, Georgia; Miami, Florida; Austin, Texas; Charlotte, South Carolina. Then it goes to New York City, Oklahoma City, Oslo, Stockholm, Toronto. That's cities.
We got the best right here. Facts.
Who does? St. Louis?
St. Louis City. Water with the best tasting tap water, some might say.
Some might. Does anybody on
just you know?
I love that he
yeah.
defends his
No,
stuff.
I know. I
we're
going to
do one thing here.
Right there.
I want people, when I say things here, I want you to look them up. And if I'm wrong, please email me.
Oh, they do.
Me.
They
like
put
that.
them on the comments. That's for
comment.
sure. Yeah, they comment it.
That's why I do that with Nick when he says something like that. I want to know where you got that, and he could be right, and that's great.
With the water thing, I totally am for sure.
Well, you're not right. I mean, obviously it's here, but
I'm gonna call the Marvin Gaye law into effect with that one. I do know for sure.
That I'm going to give you. The Marvin Gaye was the funniest statement I've ever heard when we were getting messed up in South Florida. And
don't know how I knew it, but
how did you know that? To this day, I think
I never heard it.
I feel like he had some like chip in his head and he looked something up.
I said it real quick too.
Yeah, it wasn't even like. And let me tell you this situation. We were talking about music and music from the 70s and stuff, and he talked about Marvin Gaye killing his father killing Marvin Gaye.
For being gay.
No, it wasn't for being gay. It was not for being gay. Marvin Gaye wasn't gay. Okay. Are you 10 toes down on that? Oh, guys, everybody out there, I want you.
What was the hate crime?
Who said a hate crime?
Why did you shoot him? I want to know why the dad shot him. That's what I want to know.
We're talking about Marvin Gaye death.
I just want to know
Marvin
why his
Gaye
dad
died at 44 years old in West Adams, Los Angeles.
Clearly, the dad was mad about something.
On April 1st, 1984, on the day before his 45th birthday, Gaye was shot and killed by his father, Marvin Gaye Sr., at their house in Western Heights, Los Angeles, after an argument.
About?
Gaye Sr. later pleaded no contest to voluntary manslaughter.
Dude, that guy got nothing.
And that was part of the fact, 6-year suspended sentence.
That was the big fact, too.
And
where
5 years of probation.
That was the biggest fact, where I was like, he didn't get nothing. And I was like, and he got scot-free, dude.
I killed like a famous guy, but again, it was just an over and over. They didn't say anything.
It's because, it's a booty hole argument.
Don't say stuff like that. I'm not going to let this go into that. Please, everybody, if you watch... We want to get this where it's really on point, where whoever it is, if we say it, look it up. It should be right. He's teasing, obviously, and he's got to understand. We're going to tease. We're going to have fun. Call me out. Make it. But I'm going to look it up and prove it in some way or not, usually. If not, then I might be wrong. Or it's a opinion. We all have opinions. He has an opinion that St. Louis has great tap water. I think New York has the best tap water. I always said that. A lot of New Yorkers are going to come into my defense. Bobby, you better. Bobby, Kevy Bob, my buddy. Tap water, listen, that's what we had. We used to drink out of hoses. We never drank out of a bottle or a hose on the side of a person's house, or literally drink out of the fire hydrants. I mean, play in them and drink out of them. That's what you did. That's just what you did. You'd play football and go up to the hydrant and cup your hand and get water, Nick? Oh, what are you looking? Do you want to tell the audience what?
Yeah, I'm just reading that he's not of the heterosexual descent.
Who is? And he was killed because of that? It was an argument.
You just said he wasn't.
He wasn't killed because he was gay.
Was he gay or not?
I don't think he was gay.
Okay, I'm not reading opposite.
Okay, tell us please read what you just wrote. Read it to the audience, and don't be lying.
Oh.
That's all.
Okay.
What is that, Nick?
That's my receipt.
Go ahead.
That's my lunch receipt right there.
Okay. Go ahead. Please read what you wrote. You said he's gay. Marvin Gaye was gay.
Gaye added the E. Oh.
Are you fibbing or you?
No, I don't think so.
Keep going then. Where you said you just read that he was gay.
It says he is. He added the E so no one thought he was.
Huh?
It says... Hold on. Okay, I'll believe that. This is the best answer that I will believe. It says, nope, but he's dead. Okay, I'll believe that one. All right. I looked real hard until I found this one. Nope.
I'm going to defend.
Look at that answer really quick. Nope, but he's dead.
I'm going to defend Nick on just saying stuff out his ass, but it's going to get called, and we're going to.
Maybe I'm thinking of Frank Ocean.
Who's Frank Ocean?
Is a good one.
Oh. Anyway, people, we're talking about crime. We just talked about the crimes, the city where you live. We're going to do that. If you have a topic, I want to take topics of a murder or maybe the YSL, all cases, and really break them down as a criminal.
I want to do murder mystery reviews too. That's what I want to do.
What's a murder
personally.
mystery?
Just
I never watched them.
It's just kind of like an older story.
Like
and
Clue or something like that?
No, you just read the story and then we can give our opinions on it. Like some of these murder mystery stories are wild, dude. Well, murder mystery is like somebody got away.
Real? Are they
yes,
real?
they're all real. Yes, they are all real. And usually it pertains with someone getting away with murder or someone getting
But obviously
murdered.
they got caught eventually.
No, some
Otherwise,
of them.
how do
No,
you know?
some of them are just based on people who were murdered, and it's very sketchy. And no one's figured it out. And we can give our opinions on that.
Is
And
the
some of
OJ
them-
case a murder mystery?
Maybe in a little bit, sure.
You know what I'm thinking?
But
Nobody
these
knows.
are all kind of maybe. No, I don't know about that one. Sure, I don't know. It's too
I just-
it's too famous.
See, I never
But what
wa-
I was trying to say is like it's either based on someone being murdered and no one knows, or someone getting caught for murder a while later, and it was just a mystery that someone figured out later in life.
I
So
never
sometimes they are-
watched murder mysteries.
all real.
Like they used to have a thing called Nancy Drew murder mystery.
That's all fake.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
TV shows,
yeah.
of course. I don't know a murder mystery. Give me a murder mystery. One.
I mean, I'm not a girlfriend, so I couldn't. But these are all real stories for sure.
So how
Now,
are we
there
going to
could
know
be a
it's a
sub-
murder mystery? That's what I'm asking. Like, how do I look up and
Just
say,
look up murder mystery, read one, and then if you want to verify, just look up the case. You know, and there's usually always a case.
I'm going to first thing look up
Yeah.
tonight, maybe even, is I want to look up what a murder mystery is.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I feel like this in my brain is way too simple for me to explain, but I see where you're coming from with all the law and everything. But
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
A lot
if
of
it's a
these-
mystery. That means
you've
we
never
don't know
seen
what happened.
the murder like Nancy was killed by her husband. Boom, boom, boom.
But that's not a
Law and
mystery.
Order. Not Law
I
and
got
Order.
it, but that's not a mystery.
It was, and they had to figure out who
so it's a
did it. Yeah.
Is
And
it a cold
someti-
case?
That's what I'm saying. There are whole cold case murder mysteries. Yes,
Go.
and that factor. See, I don't know the verbiage, but that's kind of what I was explaining. Sometimes they get caught, and some of them are just still cold cases. Yeah. So
they
some
still
get
don't
caught,
know who
but
killed the
some
guy,
do.
let's say.
Yeah, but that's kind of the murder mystery. They're real, but that's it. They do use the word cold cases so many times. Some of them are, and some of them are.
You know,
Oh, this young new detective decided to spend one night actually looking at the footage.
I guess
You
the
know?
word mystery, if you look that, even break it down and say, a mystery means we don't know what happened.
I know, but if it's a murder mystery, it can be a mystery until they figure it out. Like Scooby-Doo is a mystery cartoon. They figure out what's going on at the end. It's still a mystery, though. Like the story's still a mystery until it comes to a
the end.
conclusion.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess any crime.
So
could be a mystery.
that cold case is what I should. Yeah. Some of them are cold cases and some of them aren't.
Yeah, listen, it could be a new case and they just don't know who did it. That's a mystery. They don't know.
Still a murder mystery.
No, yeah.
But
if he
usually
murders,
the murder
he
mystery stories are really good, and there's a lot of details.
You know, the reason I only said that is because the board game Clue. Do you know what it is?
Yeah, it's a murder mystery, but in real time.
Like who killed?
Who done did it?
Who did
Yeah.
it? Was it the what is
Mr.
it?
Mustard?
Mustard or what?
That's all.
The
That's
hat
the-
guy or
that's the
whatever
only
that
one I
guy.
know, yeah.
I don't know him either. You know,
They do like bar things like that and stuff.
Yeah, they have stuff like that. You know, it's almost like a poker run
Mm-hmm.
with motorcycles. If you know what that is, a poker run on motorcycles is where they go play poker from bar to bar to bar. They do that with
It's
murder
really
mysteries.
dangerous.
True, you don't have to drink, and you shouldn't drink.
Well,
but
I mean, that's just a 1% chance. Sure, that's just like hoping the best in humanity.
I do. I always look at the
Yeah.
glasses half full.
We know
you
what bar
that.
hopping includes, so we don't have.
I drink water.
Maybe the two guys in the gang are sober now because they have mics on, but other than that, they're probably all drinking.
Gotcha. I had no idea what you said. It really didn't. I was trying to process that real quick to say something. I couldn't even process that guy.
I was just saying, in the biker gangs that are bar hopping on bar to bar, probably the only ones that are sober have mics on.
Oh, they're the criminals. I mean, they're the informants.
Rats,
if you want
that
to
was
say.
kind of what it
I don't say that about anybody or any gang. I give the people the opportunity to be good.
How big do you think that Hell's Angels? How much of a threat do you think they still are?
They could be a good threat.
Yeah, if you walked into their bar and started mouthing off, I guarantee you could tell me to go walk into any Hell's Angel bar, and I'd be okay. I would walk out of there okay.
Okay, let's do this. Something I know for a fact today. You could not walk into my old gangster bar.
It's not there. I already looked it up. I tried to. Larry, I got the address and we went there. It's under construction.
No. Nick, do you realize what you say? That home stretch bar is not there? The home stretch.
Maybe you told me about some secret hideout that I went to.
No, you didn't go to. You couldn't go to it.
It wasn't down the street from Little Italy.
No,
what was that?
That's the Ravenite. That's what God. That was a social club.
Really? You don't remember you telling me I could not walk down there?
You could have never walked down there.
And I did.
You could not have walked into that place.
And I couldn't have because it was under construction.
No, that wasn't even under construction. It's gone. Nick, let's get this straight so the audience knows this. Again, please look this up. No arguing. The Ravenite was a social club that John Gotti's headquarters was in Little Italy.
I have a picture of it, literally under construction. I sent it to you.
And go ahead, let's see this. And it's not there anymore, people. It's a laundry. It's a launder, like a dry cleaners. It's a dry cleaners place. His old social club, the Ravenite, in Brooklyn, in Manhattan, in Little Italy. Now, where I was from, if you walked into a bar called The Wrong Number, Nick, today,
oh, I'm listening.
You couldn't without.
I could.
Okay,
Let's make a good bet.
I'm not going to get you killed, Nick. You think you could talk your way out of bars? Why would you be in a bar in Brooklyn?
Okay, here's the options. Here are literally the two options that are
Did you look that up, my friend?
Here are the two options if I walk into that bar. They're going to say, "What are you doing here?" And
no.
Like, I don't know. And then I'd leave.
No.
And then if I didn't, sure, maybe something was going to happen.
No.
Literally, nobody. Do you think that in New York right now, that if you sold illegal cigars, they're not coming to shut your business down? Do you think they're really letting people just murder people in buildings? No, Larry, that's not a thing anymore. People are getting shut down for not having licenses.
You don't understand.
They're going to tell me to leave, and I'll be like, oh, my bad. Sure, I'll leave.
When I was in there, a guy sits down at the bar, and he gets hit right off the bat within 5 minutes, knocked out and almost killed.
How long ago was this?
What, 30 years ago?
Yeah.
There are places like that today, Nick.
Take me to one. All
right, guys.
And they might
we're not going to do this anymore.
They might literally warn me to leave.
Nick,
and then I'll say,
I don't want to get combative.
I'm not getting combative, but nobody's getting hit upside the head.
I just want you to
over an established business.
I want people to watch this and tell me why he thinks he knows that. I just don't understand. Living on the planet 27 years, how he knows that he's not going to get his ass kicked. He walks into.
Weren't they making laws like that got you?
They had
arrested?
laws.
They literally were making up laws to get rid of people that you were hanging out with. They literally made so many laws.
And do you think they're all gone? These people.
I want to know like what kind of bar they're. They might not let me into the bar, sure. And then now if I start like. Mouth backing
Nick,
them,
they'll let you in and they're gonna whack you. Not whack you, beat you, kill you, knock you out.
They're not gonna have a liquor license for much longer after that.
What's gonna happen?
If I leave there, they do not have a liquor license anymore.
Why?
If they jumped me in their bar and it was figured out to be the owner and the people that go there,
who's gonna figure that out?
Oh, really? Are they gonna murder everyone that doesn't belong
there? Murder,
okay,
Nick.
if they
beat the shit out of you,
jumped more than 2 people. They're going to get shut down.
You know what happens, Nick? People don't go in there. If they knocked you out and beat the shit out of you and left you a bloody,
a bunch of
there's
tourists,
no tourists, Nick.
A bunch of tourists are just getting
all right, guys,
murdered.
I told you, I apologize.
Don't apologize.
I am apologizing.
This is my view. This is my
That's his view because he just doesn't understand,
yeah.
and he doesn't want to think anybody else could be right on that. He just thinks that he just thinks that. Oh, he can do anything he wants.
I didn't say that. I said I could try to go anywhere I wanted. Yeah, in these little. I can go to any business with a sign that says they're open. And if they jump me, and they jumped more than just one person, they're not going to be in business for much longer anymore. You guys don't have the cement trucks anymore. You guys don't.
Got it, Nick. If you know about that life, that's great. Everybody, I just want you to give your opinion. I know what happened.
And I'm not saying it didn't happen, and that's not how it didn't work.
You're saying it don't happen.
I'm not saying that. Yeah, if you own a business, you're not going to allow that stuff happening in there at all.
Why, Nick? They don't care.
New York cares about their businesses.
Nick, you're looking in Manhattan. You've never been into the gutter.
You down. All right.
If you've been to a place, listen, guys, it's very frustrating.
I'm literally.
I'm not going to start this.
No, we're talking about the Raven place in Manhattan.
We're not talking about the Raven. You could have never went to the Ravenite.
I can right now.
It's not the Ravenite, Nick.
You just said it was still there.
Do you guys listen to this? There? He's not even listening now. What did I say? I want the people to think, listen, is Nick wrong? What is the Ravenite, everybody? I want you to think about that right now. The Ravenite was the club, and I told him this, that John Gotti had in Little Italy, and it was a social club. And he could not walk into that club like he
Where'd
thinks he can.
Where'd you take Frank?
I took Frank to my bar.
Okay.
Called the Home Stretch.
And you said that he was even scared to go in there.
Frank, no, I want you to come to lunch with us tomorrow.
Okay.
Or not tomorrow, next week.
Frank's horror stories, I'm not going to be like, oh, maybe.
No, you're not going to, because you don't believe anything storied unless you've been there, I guess. Guys, let's not argue about this.
No,
we're done today. I think we had enough. Are you looking something up you want to show me, the Ravenite?
Yeah, I'm trying to
show the audience the Ravenite.
Yeah, hold on. I went there, and that you don't remember. I said, okay, I'm going to go. And you're like, no, you're not. I'm not going to let you. I said, okay, well, I'm going to walk.
I told you it's not there after that. We went there, and it's not there.
No, I know, but the whole thing was you kept saying it was there. And
you could not go in there. Right.
Okay.
I love it. You guys laughing?
No,
I know anybody over 40 is laughing.
Okay, can I... No, that's not what happened. You can try to manipulate the story. But the thing was, I said, take me there. And you were like, no, I can't take you in there. And I was like, yeah, you can. And you kept saying it was there.
I didn't know.
You kept saying that.
We went there and it was not there.
I went there by myself because you would not allow even to go by there. And I said, give me the address. I'm going. And then 30 minutes later, he walked up because he followed me. He was very nervous. And it was literally not there and hadn't been there for years. It had gone through 2 previous owners.
No, I didn't know how many. I don't know where you got that one unless you read it. The Ravenite is not there. John Gotti's club is not there. It's gone. It's been gone. I don't know how long, but I was told by a few people, even not long ago, when I was in New York, actually, the last trip. Now, there's places in Brooklyn that I hung out and went to. And people, these aren't tourist areas, people. These are 0 tourist areas. There's no tourists. It's not like a guy's coming down, hey, I'm from wherever, and I want to just go into this place. Obviously, people are respectful, and they do the right thing. But if you walked in there as a single guy and sat at that bar, I was there when it happened.
Yeah, how long ago? Before all of the business laws?
Before the business laws. The laws have not changed one bit.
You can't just be beating the shit out of people in an established liquor license building. You cannot be doing. If there are too many fights that break out at a bar, they're getting their license taken away.
It's going to be fun, guys, talking to a person who has not a clue what that kind of life was.
Yeah, was. There we go. Was.
And is.
Was.
Got it. Is. You don't think it's going on today?
There's so many liquor license laws that
do you think they care? They had
safe.
Liquor license laws back then.
They had a lot of stuff that they looked over back then, and then they had to make a lot of new rules to block a bunch of people up, like RICO and
Nick. And why do you think you still hear cases of 10 guys get arrested for the RICO?
Not often, and it's usually and you'll even say it's usually not really managed right.
My point to you is it's still going on, whether it's right or wrong.
Yeah.
So, and here's the part. Here, I'm just going to give you a little bit, and I want you to listen to this. In New York City right now, they still have the gangsters. They have the 5 families. They have everything. And
I believe that, but I also believe that someone's going to tell me not to be there before they literally beat the hell out of me. And now if I like start running my mouth, sure, I'll get my ass beat.
You'll know not to go in there, I guess. If you don't, I've seen bad things happen. You heard stories when you were up the Bronx when we took guys and did things to them and whatever. But have things changed? Yes, but people don't change. People are people. And if you get the right people.
Get too old and stop caring that much.
No, there's younger people.
I know, it's just like the same thing when like the sons
Hey guys, let's
destroy
end the show
the family
now.
business.
Nick, I don't know what you're looking up on the show. Let's hit the dome. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be crime, and I'm not going to get in arguments like this anymore. I do apologize for that. Please stay safe. Check us out again, and we are going to talk about things that Nick, crime. We're going to see where it goes. Take care.